In this video, I'm going to swap the 2-up stock Super 73 seat with this custom OC Cafe Racer 1-up seat. Hey, what's going on? In my hands is a custom seat from OC Cafe Racer. Now, I ordered this thing about 4 weeks ago and it took about that long to show up, which was expected because this is a custom handmade seat by OC Cafe Racer, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. And for you, I'm going to be documenting my first ever seat swap on a Super 73 S2. Before I install this seat, I want to tell you a little bit about it. It is a custom diamond stitch seat in a cafe color. It's a 1-up seat, so it's going to be just for me. Super 73 stock seat is 2-up, but I've never had another person ride on my bike with me, so I figured this would be an okay seat to have. OC Cafe Racer is not a sponsor of this video. I bought this completely out of pocket, so the review of the seat is going to be completely unbiased. If you visit OC Cafe Racer's website, you'll see that they have a bunch of different designs for Super 73, as well as a bunch of different colors. They also make seats for other bike companies like Aerial Rider and Rad Power Bikes as well. Since this is my first seat swap, I'm going to go through exactly what it takes for me to get this seat on my Super 73 S2. For those of you watching who may have done this before, maybe you have some tips and tricks, so leave those down in the comments below. So let's talk about some tools that I think you need to get the job done. OC Cafe Racer does toss in an Allen wrench, but you might want a snipper for some zip ties, and then of course some extra zip ties as well, because we're actually going up underneath the seat to remove the 3 bolts that hold the current seat on, and that'll most likely require us removing this plastic guard that covers the cables and is held on by zip ties. Let's get this bike flipped over. I'm going to be using the handy dandy handlebar jacks, which protect my display and other elements on my handlebars from being set directly on the ground. I have a link in the description where you can pick up a set of these for yourself. That's handlebarjack.com. Let's see what I have going on here. It looks like I have 1 bolt up front. I am going to remove the plastic cover. I do have a lot more going on under here than your average Super 73. That's because I do have the Ranger battery installed from Shy Battery Systems. A shout out to another rad company that gives me extra range with their dual battery solution. I have a few videos on that if you want to check that out as well. And I have a link in the description down below for 5% off. If you've ever wondered what it looks like under your seat, here you go. All right, tucked away in the back there is another bolt, and then there's also one on the opposite side of the controller right here. So it's going to be a tight squeeze, but I think we can handle it. So what you're looking at right now is the front screw that holds the seat on. OC Cafe Racer sends a 3.5mm Allen key, but to remove it, you're going to need a 4mm Allen key. In this shot, you can see one of the screws that holds on the rear part of the seat. There's another one behind this mess of cables. You might be able to see it back in here. Anyway, you can see how it's a tight squeeze, but we'll get these out and that should do it. I was able to get at that screw at an angle because I have this knob at the end of the set of Allen wrenches that I have, so that was really nice to be able to get into that tight spot. It's handy that OC Cafe Racer does throw in their own 3.5mm Allen wrench, but you might be interested in picking up this set of Allen wrenches that I have because they all have that little knob at the end there. I have a link down below in the description. These have come in handy and they have all your metric sizes that you'll most likely need. And of course I saved the hardest one for last. Well, if you've ever wondered what the bottom of a Super 73 stock seat looks like, now you know. And here are the 2 seats side by side. And here's what an S2 looks like without a seat on it. Not very comfortable. So from this angle you can see how much smaller the seat is. I don't have it installed yet. What I'm going to do is get this front screw attached, because you can see there's some slots here that allows you to move the seat forward and backward to the proper position. Now we have a lot going on back here now, and I think I have a solution for that, but for now we're going to get this seat installed and just see how it looks. So I'm just getting the front screw in here And what's nice is these screws or bolts have grips on them, so you can get them tightened with your fingers first. So we'll see where I want this seat. That's as far back as it goes, and that's as far forward as it goes. I guess I could move my battery forward as well, I believe, but I think all the way back looks better. I'm trying to do this without flipping the bike back over, but I might not be able to. All right, so I'm having a bit of an issue getting this screw in this slot here for the rear of the seat. Now, if you can imagine under the bike, this is the edge of the controller here, and the washer is just too wide to fit this gap here. So what I've done is I've actually loosened the controller. You can see it's moving there. I'm gonna have this washer go in between the controller and the bike, and then tighten the controller back up, and then tighten this screw up in here. Hopefully that'll work. I'll let you know if it does. All right, I did it. It was a little bit trickier than I thought it would be, only because on this side, and I wish I could show you, but there's just not much room for that washer. So I did end up loosening the controller. I was able to slide the washer in between the bike and the controller, and then get the screw into position, and then get this tightened up. This side went a lot smoother, and everything should be tight and good to go. So, as is, what do you guys think? I think this is looking pretty good. Now, for those of you who are familiar with my bike, you may know that I generally have this Rock Bros bag that hangs underneath my bike here. But with the Shy Battery Ranger, which sits right here, and I'll show you a complete view of the bike when I get it all put back together, but I had to slide this backwards so it sagged a little and swung, and I didn't like that. So I've removed the bag, and I've grabbed this Carhartt roll-up toolkit, and when I mentioned that I have a solution for back here for all this extra space, I think I'm gonna set that just like that on the back here, and I think that'll look really good. I just have to figure out the best way to secure it. So I just need to clean up this mess of wires here, reattach that cover with a zip tie, throw on some batteries, and I'll show you the final result. And there it is, my Super 73 S2 all put back together with the new seat on. I don't think I could have done it without these Tektron Allen keys. Now this is a metric set. Again, I have a link for them down in the description below, so be sure to check those out. You're just able to get into a little bit more tighter places with something like this. And then of course I'll also have a link for this roll-up tool bag down below. I have seen it hooked onto the front as well. I think that looks really nice, but I'm gonna figure out a solution for the back here. In a few minutes, I'll be meeting up with some buddies. We're gonna go for a little group ride, and I'll be sure to get some shots of the seat in action. My hope is that it's a little bit more comfortable than the stock Super 73 2-up seat. Let's get one final close-up look of how the OC Cafe Racer 1-up seat looks on the Super 73 S2. Well, I'm gonna hand it to OC Cafe Racer. This seat was a lot more comfortable than I expected. So that's gonna be great, because with the extra range I have for my Super 73 S2, I'm gonna go on some longer rides, and this seat is perfect. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Give it that thumbs up, and let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the look? Is this something that you would wanna do with your Super 73 or whatever e-bike you have? And of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day.